Okay, we're at Tzaddik on base, 4 lines from the bottom. End of the line. Shala Cleopatra Malchus says from Meir. Cleopatra, the Egyptian queen, asked her Meir. Amra, she said, Yadana the Chayi Shechvi. I know that people who are dead come alive. There's Tchias HaMesim. The Ksiv, like the pasuk says, Ve'etitzu me'ir ka'esav haaretz. They sprouted from the city like the grass from the city of Yerushalayim, like the grass of the land. So you see Tchias HaMesim. When they get up, do they have clothing on or not? That was her question. What?
What's that?
Amar La, so he said to her.
How's she going to say that? She didn't say, what did you see? Nothing. What did you see over here?
So she didn't see. The pasuk says that Yisrael will sprout from Yerushalayim, from the city, from the ground.
Is telling you
What? King, right?
Queen.
Yeah.
So she's telling us about the.
So she says, I know from this pasuk that people are going to come to Yerushalayim after B'tchias HaMesim. This is the Gemara that says that they'll come in tunnels, right? That's why people are makbid to get buried in Eretz Yisrael. That's right, good. But she said, I do have a question still. When they get up, are they going to have clothing on or not? Amar, he told her, Amir said to her, Kavachemer mechita. It's a kavachemer from a kernel of wheat, of a stalk of wheat. When you plant a chita, you're doing the seed. It doesn't have any quote-unquote clothing on. But it comes out, when it grows, it has all sorts of covers to the kernel. Tzadikim tzadikim who are buried clothed, certainly when they come up, they're going to come out clothed. So let's see the very next Gemara. The Caesar said to Rav Gamliel, Amritu the Shechvi. You're telling me that dead people come back to life? Oh, Avafra, they disintegrate. They become like dust. The Avra Michachai, and can dust and dirt come back to life?
You and the Caesar think alike.
Amra Le Barte. So the Caesar's daughter said to the Caesar, said to Rav Gamliel, Shavke, leave him, don't answer. I'll answer my father. And she said, L'mashal, like this. If you have two craftsmen in our city, and this was a mashal, there wasn't actually these two craftsmen. One could make kalim out of water, and one could make kalim out of clay. Which one's more special? Amrle, he said to her, the one who
form a keli.
Because you can't make something out of water, right? If you can manage to figure something, okay. If you can manage to make something out of water, that's a chashuva thing.
Frozen.
Amrale, she said to him, Minamayim tzar, Hashem can make something from liquid. The shechva zera that a person comes from is liquid. So minatit like koshkin, for sure from dirt, which you says the afar. That was the raya. That was the raya. That was her answer on what he was timing. How could Hashem make somebody from dirt? Once the body decomposes, how could Hashem make a person back from that? Debate Rabbi Shmuel Tana and the Yeshiva Rabbi Shmuel, they learned like this. This is what she told them, something slightly different. She did a kavachimer from, she told him a kavachimer from a glass keli. That their work is with the wind of Basar V'dam. Because if you ever go to these, like Corning, New York, and you see when they make glass, they used to make glass with blowing. Right. They take really hot glass, put it in an oven, like 3,000 degrees, and it melts. And when it melts, they take it out, put a glob of it at the end of this pole, and then they blow through the pole, and that makes the thing big, and you can make it into shapes, and you make it into 2,000 degrees. 2,000. I remember. It was a lot. Maybe 2,000. I don't remember. It was a hot oven. I remember. They told me the number.
But actual glass is mined. Actual glass.
Glass is made out of sand.
Sand.
Yeah. Once it's melted, really, really hot. So you blow it with the ruach basar v'dam. A person blows into it, and nishbru yesh lam takana. But if they break, you could have a takana. You could melt it and make it again, right? Basar v'dam, a person shabruch shel kadosh baruch hu, that was created with the ruach of Hashem. Hashem vayipach ba'ap nishmas chayim. Hashem, so to speak, blew into it just like the person blows into the glass. Alachas kama v'kama. So certainly Hashem could create somebody again from once he's broken, once he's made that into the afar. Amalehu Mina Rav Ami. And a min said to Rav Ami. Amrita, some says a min is a Christian. Min stands for Mitalmida Yeshu Neitzri. Right?
Really?
Yes, but it's not always necessarily the case. But that's yeah, definitely an Ishtan. So the min said to Rav Ami, Amritu the Shechrichai, he's telling me that dead people come back alive. V'havu afra, they become dust, dirt. V'afra mikachai, have the dirt become alive. Amalei, so apparently this was a popular question, right? Amalei, so Rav Ami said to this min, I'm going to tell you a mashal to what this is like. The Melech Basar V'dam, a king, Shem Lavadav, he said to his servants, L'chuv nuli palterin gedolim b'makom shein mayim v'afar. Go build me a big palace in a place, big palaces in a place where there's no dirt and no water. In other words, you're gonna have to schlep in on dump trucks. You're gonna have to schlep in the dirt. You have to make a canal to bring the water in. Right? It's gonna be a big asik. Hochu Vanoy said they went and they built it. They went through all the trouble and they made it happen. Liamim, over time, naflu, the falter and fell. Amalem, told them, Chizru of Nu, I say, b'makim sheisha for a mayim. They said, go build it in a place where there is. He said to them, go build it again. But now it's a place that has afra mayim. Because they had already brought that afra in and they already made the canal of water to come in.
Why did they call that? What was wrong with the cell?
It broke time. 30 years, I don't know. Amrullah, they told him, Einoni Yuchilin, we can't. And he got upset at them. And he said to them, before you were able to build it in a place where there's no mayim and afar. Achshav, now, if there is, well, yeah, you could do it. You have all the tools. So if Hashem created the person already, the fact that he's afar, Hashem could create him already again because you had the what do you call it? You had the original binyan there already. The way Rashi says it is a little different than what I just said. Rashi says that Hashem creates a person from a little tifa katana, right? A person grows from the drop of shiklasera that the whole body comes from. So certainly from Afra, which is more substantial than that, Hashem could make it.
There's nothing, no DNA.
You don't have to ask a question on Hashem. This is to satisfy the men. We know that Hashem takes care of it, and we don't have to worry. This is not necessarily a technical thing. You're saying it doesn't make any sense? No, it can make sense. That's the tzura of the Gemara. Yeah, exactly. And he continued. Rav Ami said to this min, if you don't believe it, say lebekur a. Go look at a bika and see. Achbar. We usually translate achbar as a mouse, but Rashi brings down a laz. What is it? Ashkrol, and the type of laz says means squirrel. So some sort of squirrel. Shayim chetzi basar chetzi adama. There's some kind of thing. Either they thought it was like this, or it was actually like this. That started off as being half basar, half dirt. But machar hishutz v'nasa kule basar. The next day it became all basar. Shema timer l'zman meruba. Maybe you'll say that happens over a week or two, so it doesn't happen right away. So maybe Hashem can't make a person from dirt into once he died and decomposed into a person right away. No, I'll give you a right that Hashem could. Why? Because Alei Lahar, go look in the mountain, or A and C, one day you have only one chalazan there. The next day Yarduk Shamim, it rained down, and you have the whole mountain is full of chalazainis. Chalazan is a snail of some sort, or a sheretz of some sort. They say today, there's a lot of people who want to say that it's a Murex trunculus. Okay? And same idea.
Where did it come from?
So Gemara?
What do you call those little things?
I think they come out of the ground because
white
they're
things in
rain.
the summertime they come over the garbage can. What's it called? What's the word for it?
Slug.
When they eat the skin in the body.
Lice?
Oh, well, maggots.
Maggots. They come out of nowhere?
Yeah, they don't come out of nowhere. They come out of their eggs that are laid.
Where are they? All of a sudden the garbage can's full.
It's just too small to see.
But the
halachically, by the way, I think we're going to get to it eventually. Halachically, it could be they're so small that it's not considered alive. Can't see them where they come from. It could be a possibility that you can kill them on Shabbos in certain cases. It's not considered, or it's not considered treif. There's questions about that. But Maisa, the mother, the mommy maggots or fly. It's a maggot is basically a baby fly. So the mommy fly laid an egg, and then it grew in the dead meat or whatever, and then not one egg, but many eggs, and then it grew. In any case, so the chilazon is what you make the techeles from, and sometimes you come to a mountain where you see one chilazon one day, the next day it rains, and boom, the whole thing is full of chilazons. So you see Hashem can make things very quickly. I'm going to say like 3 or 4 stories now with Kviya Bem Sisa. There was a min who said to Kviya Bem Sisa, woe to you, Rashaim. The Kviya Bem Sisa was not a Rasha, but the min was calling him Rasha. You say that dead people come alive. The Chayin, Mesi. We see that live people die. The Mesi Chayin, you're going to tell me that dead people come alive again? Doesn't make any sense. Amalei, so Kviya Bem Sisa said to him, woe to you, Chayavaya Rashaim. You're saying that dead people don't come back to life. Things that were never alive. In other words, a baby was never born, was never alive, and becomes alive. Certainly something that was already alive could become alive. Amr Lei, so the min said back to him, Chayvaya, you Rasha, Chayvaya Karis, you calling me a Rasha? If I want to get up, the Innabach, I could kick you, Upashitna lak musach minach, and I'll straighten out your hunchback. Because he had scoliosis or some sort of hunchback type thing, his crooked spine, so he was bent, and he was upset at him. So he said, "I'm going to give you such a zetz, I'll straighten you out." Right? Amrlei. So he said, "You're going to like his answer. If you do this, you're going to be called a professional doctor, so you can take a lot of money for this. Rabban learned the Esher Varba Nisan on the 24th day of Nisan. This brisa is a brisa in Masechta Tainis. Masechta Tainis is a list of days that you don't fast or you don't say Espeidamon because various Nisan happened on that. And today we say Paskin Butler Masechta Tainis. We don't do Masechta Tainis, and we do fast on all days except for certain very special ones like Hanukkah and Purim. But in those days, if you look at Masechta Tainis, there's a whole list of different things that happen on different days. So and
they fasted on those days.
They did not fast on those days. But Nace happened on that day, and therefore they don't fast. That's what Megillah Tainus says. Megillah Tainus sounds like it should be a Megillah of when you fast, but it's not. It's a Megillah of when you don't fast.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
then Rabbanan, we learned in the Brisa, in Megillah Tainus. But Esser Rabba Nisan, the 24th of Nisan, is the Tilu Dimusnae Yehuda Yerushalayim. The what do you say? Challengers is a good word. Yeah, the people who tried to take away the land from Eretz Yisrael, from the Yidden in Eretz Yisrael, they were trying to take up a chelik of it, called them today Palestinians. They were taken away. What happened? The Shavuot Bnei Afrikaya, the people of Africa came, Laden and Yisrael, to have a din Torah with Yisrael, with Yidden, the Fnei Alexandros Meikton, in front of Alexander the Great. Amrullah, they said to Alexander the Great, Eretz Canaan Shalanu he. Palestine, it's the same thing, some things never change, right? Eretz Canaan Shalanu he. The land of Canaan is ours. The Ksiv the Pasuk says, Eretz Canaan l'gvulei Seha. The land of Canaan l'gvulei Seha. And it calls it the land of Canaan. Canaan, what? Yeah.
Look at the Rashi.
Yeah.
It's all about Hamas.
Very good. Right. Okay, very good. Okay. So they said the pasuk calls it Eretz Canaan. Uchanan Avoin, Dahanu Inshihava, and Canaan is our father, our Zayda. So we should get it. Amru Gvivem Psis Lachacham, Gvivem Psis said to the Cham, Tunu the Rishas, give me Rishas, the Elech Ve'adenimah, and I'm going to go and I'll fight with them. Lefnei Alexandros Meikton, in front of Alexander the Great. If they beat me, Imru, he'll say, this was not a real, this was one of the low-class people from us. It's not a real chacham. We'll give you a real opponent. And if I do beat them, Imru Lahem, tell them, Torah Moshe Nitzach Lechem. The Torah of Moshe beat you. Nasla Rishas, the Chacham gave him Rishas, V'alach v'dani mani, and he went and he judged, he dined with them, he fought with them. Amrullah, he told them, Hechinatam b'yim raya. Where are you bringing a raya from? Amrullah min ha-Torah. They said to him, bring a raya from the Torah. Amlahen, afani lo yavi lechem raya min ha-Torah. You're bringing a raya from the Torah? I'll bring a raya right back from the Torah. Shnever, like the pasuk says, Vayomer, Vayomer, and Noach said, Arur Canaan, cursed is Canaan, Eved Avadim Yeh Le'echad. He's going to be a slave of slaves to his brothers. Eved shekana nechasim, Eved l'mi nechasim l'mi. If an Eved is kind of nechasim, who does the Eved belong to and who does the nechasim belong to? We pass in Masha kana Eved, kana balei, kana rabbi. Not only that, the Elashari kama shanim shleiv at the tunu. There are many years that you didn't serve us. In other words, you owe us. Because during the Einiklach of Canaan, you were working for us for the last 10 years, for the last 100 years, for the last 300 years. You owe us the worth of the work that the last 300 years you should have been working for us.
You right now.
Right now, you owe us money. Right? Amar Lehem Alexandra
Reparations.
Yeah, right. So Alexander the Great said to them, answer this Kvi of Sisa. He said, tiny good. They told him, give us 3 days. He gave them time. They looked for Matsu Shuva, they couldn't find an answer. Miad Baruchu, they left right away. They left their fields planted and their vineyards also planted. And that year was Shvias, and everyone was able to go and take the fruit. Shuv Pamach, that's a different time. Bo b'nei Mitzrayim ladanim Yisrael fnei Alexander Shmeikten. The Goyin actually takes out the words Pamachas, so it sounds like the Goyin is learning Shuv Bo Bnei Mitzrayim. After the Bnei Canaan left, the Bnei Mitzrayim came. Ladanim Yisrael Fnei Alexander Shmeikten. They came to fight with the Yidden in front of Alexander the Great. Amrullah, they told him, the pasuk says, Hashem gave the favor of the people in the eyes of Mitzrayim, and they lent them the clay kesef and the clay zav, the golden and silver kalim that they took out from Mitzrayim with them. Give us back what you took, right? You owe it us. Amar Gvim said to the Chum the same thing. Give me Rishos, I'll go and fight with them. Alexandrus in front of Alexander. They beat me, and say, oh, it was a nobody that you beat. And then you could still have a chance to fight back. If I fight with beat them, tell them, the Torah of Moshe is what beat you. Nasna Rishus, they gave him Rishus, and he went and he fought with them. Amrullah, he told them, where are you bringing a raya? Amrullah, he said from the Torah. I'll also only bring a raya from the Torah. He said this before also, and we're going to see in the third story the same thing. I have a sort of a machshava. What he was saying was setting up the ground rules. Where are you bringing a raya from the Torah? Okay, let's agree that our rayas could only be from the Torah. And that way, if I could beat you in the Torah, you can't go and bring me a raya from somewhere else. And right. Shenever, like the pasuk says, he brought a raya back from the Torah. Moshe bnei Yisrael shayash Mitzrayim shloshim shana, Rabbi Meir shana. The Yidden lived in Mitzrayim 430 years. You owe us the amount of money of 600,000 workers who worked for you for 430 years. You owe me. Amr Lahan Alexander Smike them, so Alexander the Great said to them, give him an answer. Amr Lai, they said to Nalam Zman Shleshiyam, give us 3 days. Nasalam Zman, he gave them time, but could they check by Matsu, they couldn't find an answer. Miyad Hinichu said the same, Kshen Zrus, Vachamin, Kshen Tuis, Varchu, they left their fields planted and the vineyards planted, and they ran away. But I said, Shana Shvias, I said, that year of Shvias. Again, according to the way the guy says, it's the same year. The Shuv Pam Achas, and a different time, Bo b'nei Yishmael b'nei Keturah Ladim and Yisrael l'fnei Alexander Shmeiktan. The sons of Yishmael and sons of Keturah, so the Einiklach of Avraham from his other wife, came to Alexander the Great. And they said, Eretz Canaan Shalanu v'Shalachem. Eretz Canaan is yours and ours. In other words, we should share it with the Yidden. This is Mamash what the Palestinians are saying. Two-state solution. Except the pasuk says, "Ve'elo toldus Yishmael ben Avraham." These are the children of Yishmael ben Avraham. Ve'elo toldus Yitzchak ben Avraham. These are the children of Yitzchak ben Avraham. So just like Avraham is Yitzchak is Avraham's son, Yishmael is Avraham's son. So we have a share also. Amalan Vivim Sisi said to them, he said to the Chacham, Tuni the Rishus Ve'elech Vadin Imam, for Alexander's great then. Like, give me Rishus, I'll go fight with them in front of Alexander's great. And if they beat me, you'll say, oh, it was a nobody that you beat. And if I beat them, tell them, you'll tell them, Torah of Moshe Rabbeinu nitzachtem. It was the Torah of Moshe that beat you. That's not Rishus, they gave him Rishus. Halach v'dani mine. And he went and he judged with them. He said to them, where are you bringing a right from? They told him, in a Torah from the Torah. He told them, I'll also bring a right from the Torah. What's the right? Shneimar, the Pasuk says, Avram gave everything that he had to Yitzchak. To the sons of the Pilagshem that Avram had, Hagar, Keturah. So what did he do there? Nastan Avram Matanis. Avram gave presents. Now, Av Shinasan Agtin Levanav, B'chayav, a father who gives Agtin. Agtin is like a letter, Rashi says, that this person, this son, should not get like the other brothers. Okay. So he gives an Agtin to his sons in his life, Shigur Zemi Al Zeh, and he sent one away, Klum Yesh L'Zeh Al Zeh Klum. Will he have any, and does the one who gets sent away, does he have any tainus? He doesn't have any tainus. The father basically disinherited him. So you have no tainus on the Jewish people. My matanas, what are the matanas? This is now, it's just aga, because we're mentioning the matanas, we're saying what were the matanas that Avram gave to the Bnei Keturah. Avraham Avinu gave them a shem tuma that they could do kishuf with.
That's matana.
It's taka matana. Amalei Antoninus the Rebbe. Antoninus said to Rebbe, Antoninus and Rebbe were very good friends. Gufu neshama yichel lifter atzman adin. Antoninus handed to Rebbe, the Guf and the Neshama can pat themselves from being judged after they get in front of the Rebbeinu Shalom. Why? Because Ketzad, how? Guf Omer Neshama Chatas. The Guf could say the Neshama sinned. Shemiyayim Shemiyayim Shepirsha Mimeni, because from the day that the Neshama left me, the Guf, Hareini Mutal Kevin David, the kever. I'm like a stone in the kever. I can't do anything. So that's obviously because of the neshama that I was able to do averis. So it's the neshama's fault. What does the neshama say? The neshama says, Guf chata. The Guf said, Shemiyom shepirashti mimenu, because from the day that I left from the Guf, Hareini Perechas Ma'avra Katzipar. I'm flying in the sky like in the air like a bird. I'm not doing any averis. So it's the what do you call it? It's the Guf's fault. Amar lei. So Rebbe said back to Antoninus, I'll give you a mashal for what this is like. The Melech Basar a king, Shahei Paradis Nai. He had a beautiful orchard. V'hayabai b'chayris nice. He had very good fig trees, good figs in his thing. Yeah. He put two watchmen into this garden. Echad Chigar, one was lame, he couldn't walk. Echad Suma, and one was blind. The lame person, guard, said to the Suma, the blind one, you can't see because you're blind, but I could see that there's really nice figs in this garden. Come, put me on your shoulders, and we'll bring them to eat. Rachav Chigar al Gavi Suma, the lame person sat on top of the blind person. They brought them, and they ate them. Yamim, eventually, Babal Paradis, the owner of the orchard, came. Amalahen, he said to them, nice, where are my beautiful, what do you call it? My beautiful figs. Amalai Chigar, the lame said, hey, do I have feet? Amalai Suma, do I have any eyes? Can I see? So what did this guy do? He put the lame on the Suma's shoulders, but then I judge them like one. So to Hashem, this is what Hashem does. Maybe neshama v'zarka b'gaf. He takes the neshama and throws it into the body. V'danai some kechanim, judge them together. Shnem, like the pasuk said, Yikra el hashemayim me'al v'la'aretz ladin imay. He calls to the sky above and on the land to judge with him. And Rabbi explains, Yikra Lashmai Me'al, he calls to the sky above, Zun Neshama. This is a Neshama, like we said, it's Perechas Ba'aver. So he's calling the Neshama. Vela Aretz Ladin Imai Zaguf. And the land to judge with him, that's the Guf. And Hashem puts them together and then judges them.
In Shemaim, the Neshama gets punished?
The neshama gets punished, and it's not, the punishment is not in this world, so it's not in a way we can recognize. However, the way the Psalms speak about it is that there's some sort of bodily presence that's getting punished. Otherwise, how is the neshama getting punished? We don't really understand any of it. When we get to Gan Eden, we'll go without any chatam, and we'll have easy pass, like you say. But one thing that you can say is that it's not here. Now, I just want to say something. And just because Antonina said this to Rebbe doesn't mean that every neshama and every guf says this. But Rebbe is saying that if a neshama or a guf would say this, right, metaphorically speaking, Hashem will be able to put it in place. In other words, it's more of an answer to Antoninas than an explanation of what Hashem does, right? Because Hashem is saying, right, Rebbe is saying to Antoninas, you had a good svara, a good logic, and I'm bringing you a right that it's not such a good logic. Okay, Zaktamar Viter. Amalei Antoni. So this one, Rebbe won.
Now Antoni's saying.
What was that?
Now Antoni's saying back to Rebbe.
Antoni's saying a different new story, but this one Antoni is going to win. I'm sorry, not this one. Soon. Amalei Antoninus Rebbe. Antoninus said to Rebbe, to Rabbi Yehuda Anasim, why does the sun rise in the east and set in the west? Amalei, so Rebbe said, Nami, if it was rose in the west and set in the east, you would have asked me the same question, so kasha from my side.
Better for the plant a certain way, right? The west wind.
I don't know.
The west wind is better.
We're talking about the sun over here. Okay, so Amalei. So Amalei Hachi Kaminulach. So Antonina said, now this is what I mean to ask. Why does it set in the west? In other words, let it just keep on going until it's halfway through the sky, and then set very quickly. You don't have it won't go through all the way from the middle of the sky all the way to the west. No, it goes all the way to the west to give shalom to its creator. Shneimah, like the pasuk says, the hosts, the heavenly hosts, bow to you, and the Rabban Shem Shechina is in the west. Therefore, it goes to the west and bows to Hashem. Amar Leisa, Antonin said, let the sun go till halfway through the sky, till when it's right on top of us, and then be mishtachvet to the Rebbeinu Shalom, and then go back the other way. Well, why does it have to keep on going to the west? He said, this is our cheres. When you go to a king, you don't go right up to him and bow, you stand far back and you bow. And so he said, Misham Pailim, Misham Arvidrachim. He said because of workers and because of travelers. Because of workers, if it stops right away in the middle, they'll think that it's bright. They'll think there's still time of the day. They won't know that it's about to set, and they'll get they're going to wait to do their work, and then when they finally start doing their work, there's no time left and it's dark. And Arvidrachim is the same thing. That they won't know that it's time to start looking for a safe shelter, and we should go make camp over here. Antoninus said to Rebbe, here's the case. These next two cases, Antoninus won the argument. When does the neshama put into a person? Bishas pekida and bishas yitzira. Is it from the time that the malach takes the Gemara says in either that malach takes the trap and shekhazer in front of the Rebbeinu Shalom, and the Rebbeinu Shalom says it's going to be a gibar or a chalash or a chacham or a tipish, right? So from that's the time of the pekida, or the time of yitzira when there's an embryo with form, with legs sticking out and hands sticking out, and you have a head, right? When does the neshama come? So Rabbi Yehuda Nasi said from the time that the
40 days.
I don't know what point this is, but when there's a form of the baby. Amalei, so Adivina said back, after Chaticha Shabasra, I meant Melach. If you have a piece of meat that's sitting for 3 days without salt, Eina Masrachis, it's not going to go bad. So over here, you have the embryo sitting for 3 days without the neshama that's mechayet, it's going to go bad. Ela Mishas Pkida must be from the time of when, all the way at the beginning, when the Malach brings the tipa to the Rebbeinu Shalom to say what it should be. Rebbe said, Darazel Dani Antoninas. Antoninas taught me this. He was right. He taught me this. Mikra Messiah. There's a pasuk. It's right. My ruach was watched. Kudasecha is talking about the Torah, but he's darshaning. Kudasecha from the time of Pekida, Shamaruchi. That's when my ruach, my neshama, was put inside me to guard me. So that's the raya to Antoninus. Next case, next story. Amar lei Antoninus to Rabbi. Antoninus said to Rabbi, when does the Yitzhahara start having an influence on the person? From the time that the embryo is formed, or when the embryo comes out and is born. Amar lei. So Antoninus said, Rabbi Yehuda said, Rabbi Nanasi said, from when the embryo is formed. Amar lei. So Antoninus said to Rabbi, if that was the case, if there's really Yitzhahara in the baby that early, it would kick its mother's womb and come out. Yeah. Ela Mishasitzia, it must be Mishasitzia from when the baby comes out. Rabbi said, this thing Antoninus taught me, Umikra Messiah, you have a pasuk that's a riot him. Shnemar, La Pesach Atas Revetz. The pasuk is saying, La Pesach, and we're dashing it. It's not Pasha.
He answered about Asa that he was jumping out of the mother's stomach. And he answered about Asa that he was run by a thing he was jumping out of the stomach.
Right. I hear your question. I hear the question. I don't know the answer.
According to the one who says it, I read it by Yitzir.
What?
The one who says by Yitzir.
Right. It's a right. I hear the question. I don't know. If I remember, Belina, I'll take a look. Rish Lakish says the steer of Tupsakim. Ksiv, Ram Iber B'Seach Harabi Eled Safta. Among them, we're talking about the Geula. There'll be a blind, lame people, pregnant, and people who give birth all together. It's mashma that even people who are sick or balim woman, like an Iber B'Seach, a blind person or a lame person, will stay with their mom. And the pasuk says, "Azidal ka'ayil piseach." Then a piseach, a lame person, will skip around like a ram. The Torah and Lashon Elam, and the tongue of a mute will sink. Because in the Midbar and in the Nechalim, there's going to be water coming. So in other words, everything by Mashiach's time, the either won't be blind, the Elam will be able to speak. It's going to be a whole new, all the women will be healed. So what's going on? One pasuk mashma, the woman will be healed. One pasuk mashma, the woman will not be healed. So the Gemara says, and for the Gemara, HaKetzad, this is Rish Lakish speaking, HaKetzad, they start off with the mum, but eventually Misrafin, they're going to get healed. We're going to see the same concept a little later on in the daf also. Ula Rami, Ula said a stirum something. Sivit says in the pasuk, the famous pasuk that unfortunately we say by Levias, Bila Hamavad Lanetz, Bila Hamavad Lanetzach, Hashem will make the death be swallowed up forever, be gone. And Hashem will erase tears from every face. Mashma, that after Mashiach Tzaitin, there won't be any more death. But after Al-Mabah, I should say, not Mashiach. The pasuk says, the next words is in the pasuk also, but the Tzvayad, they take it out. It doesn't really work over here. So, when a 100-year-old dies, people say, oh, he's so young, he died when he was only 100. Right? What's mashma that still people will die. After the Gemara, like Kashas Nashvar, Kambi Yisrael, Kambi Yisrael, the Yidden won't die, but the Goyim will die. In fact, the Gemara, what are the Kachavim doing in Olam Haba? The Gemara, Hanach those Goyim that is written about them, the Amdu Zarim, strangers will stand for Ro Tzainchem, and shepherd your sheep of Nechar, Achrechem v'Karmechem, and strangers will be your plowers and your vineyard keepers. So those Goyim who are doing those things, they will still be around, and then they'll live till 100. If they die when they're 100, people say, "Oh my goodness, what a young man he was when he died." Okay. Sagt Mar weiter. Rav Chisda said a steer in Psukim. Siv it says v'chafra alvana uvoisha achama kimal Hashem tzvagos. The alvana will be dig down, and the chama will be embarrassed because Hashem ruled. Uchsiv, which mashma that to be less light. And the chesiv, and it says the or of the levana, the or of the moon will be like the or of the light of the sun. And the light of the sun will be like 7 times the light of the 7 days of creation. A lot of light. So what's the fear? Which one was it? It says like Kasha. So here's something that a lot of people don't realize when you see the first in this pasuk. There's 2 stages after where we are right now. One is Mesa Mashiach, one is Olam Haba. They're not the same. People tend to put them together, but they're not the same. Mashiach comes, not everything is going to be the same. We'll see in a second, Shmuel holds. But by Olam Haba, that's a different thing. So the Gemara's teretz is the Olam Haba is after you Mesa Mashiach. So what's the Gemara's teretz? The Gemara's teretz is that in the Yomais HaMashiach, then the sun will be bright and it'll look very chashav. But in the Olam Haba, the tzaddikim will be so shiny themselves that the sun will be chafra chama v'ishal vana. They'll be like embarrassed from the light of the Talmid Chacham tzaddikim. Shmuel, in fact, tomorrow, according to Shmuel, Shmuel says that after Mashiach comes, it's the same thing, except it's not the Goyim in charge, it's the Yidden in charge. So that's the difference. Famous Rambam. So, according to Shmuel, then you can't make a differentiation between Mesa Mashiach and Olam Haba, because in our time, any Mesa Mashiach is going to be the same. According to right. So you have to say that the differentiation is both in Olam Haba. What are you going to say? L'kash is not shver. Ham b'machna tzadikim, ham b'machna shchina. In the machna of tzadikim, then the sun will be bright and the moon will be bright. But the machna of the shchina, the Rebbeinu Shalom, the Kaviyah light, that the chama and the levana will be like they're covered up and the less light. Rabbi said a steerim sukkim. The pasuk says, "Ani amas v'achaya, I Hashem kill and I make life." And Rashi explains that it's mashma that the same way I kill somebody, I'll make him alive. In other words, if somebody dies at Balmam, let's say somebody dies and he was blind. Right? When he wakes up for Tchias HaMesim, he's going to wake up and he's still going to be blind. But there's a different one that says, Mechatzti, I hit Vani Erpa and I will heal. And you can't heal somebody. I'm sorry. You can't heal somebody unless you hit them first. But if you heal them, it's mashma they don't have a mum anymore, right? So now this blind person, what's the pshat? It's a student. What is mashma that the people wake up without their mum? What is mashma people wake up with their mum? Amar Kadosh Baruch Hu, so he says, this is what it means. Hashem says, first what I killed, I will do Tchias HaMesim, and they'll still have the mum. And after that, what I hit, the mum, then I will heal the mum, and I'll make that healed. And this is like the Gemara we said before, it says, first they'll have their mum, this is the first wide line, and then it was sharp, and then after that, they get healed. Rabbanan learned. And by the way, we're going very fast through these Gemaras, but I'm sure the Marsha has pages and pages. Yeah, this is not Bashik Gemara. I just have to say that to explain. What? Ben Yehoyada, I'm sure goes to town over here. Yeah. Tana Rabbanan, the Rabbanan learned. Ani amis v'achaya. The pasuk says, Hashem says, I kill and I make life. Yachol shtei misa be'echad b'chayim be'echad. Maybe this means Hashem kills Yankov and makes Beryl alive. Kills Shmerel and makes Reuven alive, right? Who says it kills Yankov, makes Yankov alive, kills Beryl, makes Beryl alive? And for the Gemara, the pasuk says, I hit and I heal. Just like hitting and healing has to be in the same person. You can't hit Reuven and heal Shimon, because if Shimon wasn't hit, how could he get healed? So Af Misa v'Chayim be'echad. So too, Misa and Chayim is talking about the same person that Hashem will give Tchias HaMesim to the person that he killed. You can't tshuva from here's an answer to those who say in Tchias HaMesim and Torah that there's no Tchias HaMesim and Torah. This is a pasuk in Sefer Devarim. So you see from the Torah that there's going to be Tchias HaMesim. Tanya, we learned in the Brisa. Amar Amir said, "Menayin Tchias HaMesim and Torah." How do you know Tchias HaMesim and Torah? Shnei, like the pasuk says, "Az Yashir Moshe of Bnei Yisrael l'Shir Azes Hashem." Then Moshe and the Bnei Yisrael will sing a song to Hashem. Sharlei Nemer, it doesn't say past tense. Then Moshe and Bnei Yisrael sang a song. Eli Yashir, future tense. That in the future, the Bnei Yisrael going out of Mitzrayim will be revived, and they'll sing another song to the Rebbeinu Shalom. Similarly, you find same kind of pasuk. Az Yivne Yeshua Mizbeach Hashem. Then Yeshua will build the Mizbeach Hashem. Banalei Nemar doesn't say he built one. Eli Yivne. He will build. Become Tchias HaMesim Torah. Here you see Tchias HaMesim from the Torah. Ela Miyata Frak Gemara Az Yivna Shlema Bama L'Kmaish. There's a pasuk where the Torah is taking Shlema off the task for building a Bama Mizbeach L'Avodah Zarah Kmaish. So Shakatz Maya L'Avodah Zarah Maya. So you're going to say Hachinami Yivna. You're going to say after Tchias HaMesim, right? After Mashiach, after Tchias HaMesim, Shlomo HaMelech is going to build a Bama T'Avodah Zarah. Hey Tachi. Elam, really, that's not saying he never actually built that. The pasuk is considering it because he was able to do all these things. He considered it that he built a Bama T'Flesh. Rabbi Shimon Levi says, "How do you know Tchias HaMesim and Torah? Shnei, like the pasuk says, Ashrei Yosher V'Secha." Pasuk we say 3 times today. Lucky are those who sit in your house, Hashem's house. They will continue being praising you. It doesn't say they praised you. They will praise you. Rabbi Shimon Levi says, somebody who says Shira to the Rebbeinu Shalom in this world will be Zeicha to say it to the Rebbeinu Shalom in the world to come. How do you know? Shneim like Pasuk says, Asher Yoshvim Yisacha, Oidi Hallelujah Sela. They'll continue praising you forever.
The person should keep praising Hashem.
The person should keep praising Hashem. Absolutely.
This pasuk doesn't tell him. So called
so very good. We see this a bunch of times in this paragraph. We see it other times in Shas too. The Gemara calls something Minat Torah even if it's in the Nevi'im or Ksuvim. Yeah. Even though something says, like we had the Gemara with Rabbi Gamliel, you want to bring Raya Minat Torah and Nevi'im and Ksuvim, right? So there it doesn't say Minat Torah, but in the Gemara will say Minat Torah when it means just Nevi'im or Ksuvim. I'm Rabbi Chia, I'm Barabba, I'm Rabbi Yechon.
Torah means like chop Gashbal and give Israel is Torah. David Melach is separate, like a separate.
Right, but you see from here, and you see it's other Gemaras also, like I said, that you call the Torah even the Yimuksu. I'm Rabbi Chia Barabba, I'm Rabbi Yechon. Rabbi Chia Barabba said the name Rabbi Yechon. Menayin Tchias HaMesim and Torah. How many you know Tchias HaMesim and Torah? Shneim like the pasuk says, Kol Tzefayich Nasu Kol Yachdi Yerneinu. The end of the pasuk is the ayin buying you, eye by eye they'll see, but Shiva Shem Tzima Hashem returns to Tziyah. Right? Let's talk about the Gula. What's the beginning of the pasuk? Kol Tzefayich, the sound of those your watchmen. Tzeifa is the one who sees. So the people on your walls, the gates. Nasu Kol Yachtav, they'll raise their voice together. Yeranenu, and they will sing. Rinenu Loy Nemar. It doesn't say they did sing. El Yeranenu, they will sing. Again, you see Tchias HaMesim from the Torah. Rabbi Chia Barabba, Rabbi Yechon. Rabbi Chia Barabba said, Rabbi Yechon. Asidim kol Nevi'im kulam leimer shira b'kol echad. The Nevi'im, all of them, will say shira b'kol echad. Tzefayich, I said, means the watchmen, right? Because they see things. Who else sees things? A Navi sees things, right? Like we call the Chayza Milablin, right? The Chayza is the seer. from Lublin, right? He sees things. So the Nevi'im see things. So they'll all say Shiru b'Kolach with one voice. Shneimar, like the pasuk says, Kol Tzefayach, the sound of your seers, Nasu Kol Yachtav Yiranenu. They raise the voice Lashon Yachid, and together they sing. So they'll all join together in Shiru to the Ren. Amar Rav Yehuda Rav. Rav Yehuda said the name of Rav. We'll go on a little left turn over here. Somebody who refuses to teach a Talmud something, he refrains from teaching a Talmud something that he knows. It's as if he steals from the Talmud's Yerusha. Shenem, like the pasuk says, Torah Tzivamona Moshe. Moshe Rabbeinu commanded us the Torah. Merasha to Yerusha, Kilas Yaakov, to Kilas Yaakov. Merashi Hilachol Yisrael, Sheshes Mei Bereishis. It's a Merasha, an inheritance to Yisrael from the 6 days of Bereishis. Rashi explains, the famous verse Rashi in the Torah, Rashi says that the world was created B'Shvil HaTorah, and Shenei Bereishis, and B'Shvil Yisrael Shenei Bereishis. So we would say Merasha, this the Torah that is because of the Bereishis, you didn't give him his Yerusha. Amar Chana Bar Bizna, Amar Shimon Chasida. Chana Bar Bizna says the name of Rav Shimon Chasida. Somebody who holds back a halacha from Talmud, even an over fetus in the stomach of its mother, the colonist will curse it. It's saying it's a big thing. What?
How do they know?
It doesn't necessarily mean literally. It means he deserves to be cursed, even from an over. Right? And the pasuk is saying this. Shenemar, like the pasuk says, "Menei bar yikvuhu la'ayim." Okay, this literally means somebody who holds back food. The nation will make a hole in him. I think that's what La'im means over here. The Gemara explains. Vein la'ayin. La'ayin means an ovrin. It means the embryos, the fetuses. Shenemar, the Pasuk says, la'ayin la'ayin yamat. So we were talking about Yaakov and Esav before, right? One nation will fight over the other nation. That was the nevuah. Vein kava yikvuhu elaklala. It's lashon klala. Shenemar, like the Pasuk says, by bilam ma ekad lekava kel. How could I curse the Yidden? Hashem didn't curse them. Vein bar, and bar means elatayra. Bar means Torah. Shenemar nashku bar. He says, be careful with the Torah, because maybe Hashem will get upset at you if you don't do the Torah, and then the end of the pasuk is the Sovdu Derech, you lose your way, you go the wrong thing, but you're not getting out of the Torah. But you see that Bar is talking about the Torah. So you see from this pasuk that even over Me'iman will curse a person who holds back the halakha of the Talmud from the Torah from his Talmud. Okay, let's stop over here. Tomorrow, remember, I'm not going to be here, and tomorrow, Mr. Shem will pick it up all the way, the last 3 words in Tzadik Beis and Beis on the bottom. Amar Rabbi Yochanan. That's on Thursday, Mr. Shem.